Před chvíli jsme dokončili se Stefanem trénink s jeho skupinou. Teď jsme si sedli na chvíli, abychom si s ním popovídali o tom, co vlastně dělá, jakým způsobem se k tomu dostal, k těm pohybům a odkud ty pohyby pocházejí. Ten rozhovor bude anglicky, ale já se budu snažit občasně trošku shrnout, o čem se bavíme v češtině, aby ty z vás, kteří nemluví tak dobře nebo nerozumí dobře anglicky, tomu rozuměli. Stefan, hi again.
Hello again.
Hello. So we had a very nice session with you and with your group. I enjoyed every movement. Really, I was not sure actually what to expect, but it was really great.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I must say that I was quite inspired when I saw the stuff you do on Instagram. And you know why I decided actually to come over here is because I've been building like my personal vision, how I want to feel in my life the next 10 years, because I'm getting 50 next year, and I've been looking for a vision. Okay, what I want to do and how I want to feel in the next 10 years, maybe 50 years. And part of what actually I'm looking at is really feeling free and enjoying kind of a free movement in my life, not only physical but just feeling really free and achieving kind of a authentic self-expression, I call it. And when I by chance saw some of your videos, I immediately felt like, well, that's how I want to feel, you know, in my next 10 years, you know.
Yeah, I understand.
That's how I want to feel, that I live really freely in a flow, and that's why I felt in love with what you do and decided to come and actually meet you here. So I'm very curious to understand a little bit more about the movements, where they come from and how they've been created. But first of all, tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you coming from yourself? What you do in life and so on.
Well, I come from Romania. I was living in Cluj-Napoca my whole life until recently, because I just moved in Berlin in January, so a couple of months ago. And yeah, there I started my physical practice as a really young child. I was, I think, 5 years old when I first started my swimming lessons, and I stayed with that practice for about 10 years. I was competing and yeah, I was training a lot in that context. And during that time, actually, I also tried a little bit of triathlon, but not too much, with my professor. And at some point I had to quit. Also, I got quite bored of doing the same thing for so long, but also my body was no longer like keeping up with the other guys, because you know, like in swimming, guys are quite tall and I was not growing anymore, so I was not able to compete anymore.
Disadvantage, right?
Yeah, I was in a big disadvantage, definitely. So I had to find something else. So I started actually doing some bodybuilding, because, you know, at that age you identify yourself a lot with the way you look.
I know it very well. I used to do bodybuilding as well because of that.
Yeah,
right?
So you want to have nice muscles and to look good.
Yeah.
But after about half a year, after I was just doing bodybuilding, and actually I was working a lot with my body weight, even then, because I was enjoying more this kind of approach. But yes, my father told me that, do you think that that's enough, like that's complex enough? Don't you want a little bit to try something else? And he was like martial arts practitioner for...
that's what I wanted to ask, if your dad was some kind of athlete as well.
He was very active, and he had a period when he didn't train so much, because he had two young children, and he had other things to deal with in life. But then he got back to his practice, so now he's practicing a lot. He's also a martial artist, doing a lot of kind of fighting styles, from Shotokan, Aikido, Iaido, BJJ. He's swimming, doing bodybuilding, so he's a very active person.
How old is he?
Oh, 50 something, I don't really know.
Okay, so he's over 50, right? Okay.
Yeah, over
okay.
50, over 50.
Okay, good that he's still active.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's very active. So he asked me if I don't want to try something else, and he showed me taekwondo and also capoeira. And when I saw capoeira and I saw all these like guys who were doing kicks and jumping and dancing and being wild and having also like the interaction with another person, because this is how Roda is. It's like a place where you are with someone else. You are moving with someone else, not just by yourself.
Yeah, right.
And I got really attracted by that discipline. So I started when I was 15 and a half, 16, something like that. I started capoeira. And I continued that practice for a very long time. I was teaching kids for a couple of years.
Okay.
I had a group of kids. Actually, it was my master, because in capoeira you have like professor, master, and so on.
Yes.
The hierarchy. And I was also teaching kids. So I was just practicing capoeira a lot, and during that time I also tried a little bit other kind of martial arts, and I got really interested in contemporary dance, but I thought that I will never be able actually to dance like that, because I'm already too old to be able to learn how to dance, because this is how we think, right, about disciplines, and we have this impression that at certain age you can't start it anymore.
Do anymore.
It's like it's over for you, but it's a really wrong view of how actually brain works, because it's still plastic until like a very late age, and you can just learn anything, even if it maybe will be a little bit slower. You can still learn anything at any age if you just put in the work.
That's what I believe, and that's what I'm trying to do, you know, with the podcast, and to what I'm doing actually to show people that you can really keep your thinking flexible, and when you keep your thinking flexible, you can actually learn anything. It is all in your head, and I know it's kind of a cliche, a lot of people say, but in the end of the day, it is really when you really try to follow that thought and just convince yourself that it's only in your head, you can really learn everything in whatever age you want.
Yes,
so
that's right. So for me, like telling myself that I'm not a good dancer for so long, like it was such a, it was holding me back for exploring something that actually I now enjoy a lot, and I think I was able to learn it like right away, when I was able not to think in this way anymore. So I was not identifying myself with this guy who's not able to dance, and I just start like shaking and moving my body, and I discovered. So after I did this, I had my capoeira period. I stopped for 1 year from practicing any kind of sports. I didn't have any kind of. I was not active anymore, and I was reading a lot and studying a lot, because I was in med school. It was a really hard year in med school, and also I just realized I got to an age when I realized how much I don't know. So I just wanted to read in every domain, and I got really interested in evolutionary biology and evolutionary psychology, and discovering Sam Harris, Richard Dawkins, and a lot of other, Jared Diamond, and a lot of other great writers who are talking about this, triggered something in my mind. So when I came back to this physical practice, I started like listening a lot to podcasts. I was listening to Behind the Movement, Kyle's podcast, Rafa Kelly. He has also a beautiful podcast, and I discovered through this podcast, I discovered Joseph Furcek. He's one of the founder of, together with his wife Linda, they are the founders of Fighting Monkeys practice.
Okay.
So once I heard him talking about this practice, and the way he was able to integrate and make connections in between all the disciplines, like from evolutionary biology to philosophy to movement, so everything was like very well connected in a way and intermingled. and I got so fascinated that I went on YouTube right away to find these guys, what they are doing, and then I saw their practice and how it was looking, and I was like, whoa, this is like so organic, and it feels, I want to be able to feel, because I was thinking that it should feel so great to be able to move and think in that way. So I was, okay, I want this. And then I saw that they have some online courses, and for me it was a big investigation at the time. I didn't have money, I was a student, my parents were supporting me, so
What age you were then?
I was 24,
24,
so
okay.
in 2 years a lot of things changed for me, like it changed a lot.
So it started 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Okay,
I
you are a very good learner then, you know, I mean, if you...
Yeah, well, I kind of had a movement practice before.
Okay,
I was doing capoeira, calisthenics, and I was very physical. But yeah, once I discovered them, I started practicing online with them. And after I did this investigation first time, I said, okay, I just need to make enough money to be able to continue training with them and learn from them. So at some point, I even sold my shoes. I was for a couple of years, I was collaborating with Vivo Barefoot, and I had like a lot of shoes, unused shoes from them, because they were keep sending the shoes to me to promote them, and I stopped collaborating with them at some point. So I had a lot of shoes, so I just sold everything, so I'd be able to get the online courses. Also, I started teaching online on Zoom to make a little bit of an income, so I will be able to continue this. And then I just decided to quit med school, because I realized how much time actually I need to be able to understand the practice and I thought that it is a way in which I could live a more like the quality of life could be way much better if I would do this than what I was doing before, which is like living inside between four walls on a chair, studying all the time. So yeah, discovering Fighting Monkeys, for me it was like a very big shift in my life. They just shifted the way they made me question everything that I was thinking, and the way I was thinking, and the way I was moving and approaching movement. And yeah, I started practicing with them. Yeah, and then I started the mentorship. So now we are more in the present, because I'm still in the mentorship. I'm quite close to finish the first, let's say, round of the mentorship. And I start also going to the live workshops, and I'm looking forward to go to the first intensive. It will be like 1 week with them, and I'm very excited about that.
Very nice. I'll interrupt you now, because I forgot to translate. Okay, so you said that you started your own courses at some moment, right?
Yeah, at some point I stopped doing the Zoom, the live Zoom classes, because I felt that I don't have any kind of continuity with the people who are attending, because they were not consistent. So I was not able to go in the deeper layers of what I wanted to share in this way, like through the online medium. So I thought that maybe if I will do these online courses, I will be able to share also like the deeper layers of my practice, let's say, of what I'm practicing. And yeah, I started doing recording with an iPhone 7 actually. That it's all that I had, and the first courses were filmed inside my room, and I just said, this is what I can do now, and I will do it. It's either I do that or I freeze and I don't do anything. So I just did it, and I had good feedbacks from the beginning, and people who are doing them were asking for more. So I said, okay, if they enjoy it, I will just continue doing it. And I started slowly to have money to get a better camera and a microphone and so on. I'm still learning, because it's not
I can imagine.
Yeah, I know how to move. I'm moving a lot, but when it comes to filming and all this stuff, I'm very new to it, and I'm just figuring out how it works.
Okay. So did you do the courses at the beginning for your I don't know, local Romanian public, or it was international?
It was
right
international.
From the beginning?
Yeah, right from the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, they were in English. My English was not good at that time, so also my English transformed a lot.
Very nice. So it's
I
like
was
kind
like,
of
I'm just going to put myself out there, and if the feedback is bad, maybe I will not do it anymore. But if the feedback it will be good and people will enjoy it, I will continue like sharing.
Nice. So it's like an overall journey of improvement.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was trial and error all the time.
Okay.
And at some point, I was able to record longer courses with a better camera and also a microphone. Obviously, now I'm not really satisfied with them anymore because 1 year and something passed. So when I look back, I learned so much in the last year that now I think, okay, I have to update actually all the, like probably every year or every second year to update the material and keep it fresh, because it will not resonate maybe with what I'm thinking and how I'm thinking in the present moment. So I want people to to have access to what I'm preaching now, let's say, rather than what I was preaching then.
I see. Okay, so that was about 1.5 years ago, you said?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's been a very intensive.
It was really fast. Things happened so fast. Yeah, I started these online courses, so slowly I started to have an online business, which right now in the present moment it's going great, so I can have a passive income and I can live from that, which is great because I'm in a period of my life when I want to study a lot and to learn a lot, because I have a lot of questions and not so many answers. I think it will be like this probably like forever, but
that's a good I think kind of a mindset, towards life.
Definitely.
I think.
Driven by curiosity all the time. But I'm in a place where I want to have a lot of time so I can like focus a lot on learning and studying and moving, and I think at some point I will be at that place when I want to share more what I learned and the knowledge that I accumulated. But right now, even when it comes to working in the physical world, I don't take in so much work. So I do some workshops abroad if people are asking for me to teach somewhere, and they organize everything, and I just have to go there like a teacher. Then I'm open to do that, because I love being around people and moving with them and sharing what I know and creating a beautiful experience for them through the movement context, or in the movement context.
What do you want to study, by the way?
I want to study movement, so I'm just reading
movement.
And to read a lot. Like I want to have time to read in different domains, from philosophy to the science of sports to evolutionary biology and so on. And I want to continue studying with fighting monkeys. Probably I want to go in the second round of the mentorship, and it takes a lot of time if you want to do it well. So if you really want to dig into the material in their philosophy and so on, then you need time. You need time to practice, and also I have my practice and my part of researching the way I like to move and the way I feel that I want to express myself, because it's also this like artistic part that I want to have in the way I move. And this is what I want to do, like at least for 1 more year, and also to maybe next year I'm thinking to go more in the physical world after fighting monkeys, so to attend to more workshops, and maybe just then to go in the second part of the mentorship. So my plan is like to keep like holding on them and learning from them for the next couple of years, and then when I will feel that I'm okay, it was enough about myself, and now I want to teach more, then I will start teaching more. But right now it works perfect for me to have this online courses and to keep like creating online content in the sense of educational online content, in the sense of courses.
Okay,
To
perfect.
create courses with different thematics.
I see. Okay, Stefan, so at the training session you shared a little bit about the roots of the movements, but I would like to ask you to repeat that a little bit more now for the viewers. And share where the movements are coming from, what are the roots of it. You've mentioned capoeira, so there is definitely some connection. But what is the wider context of your movements?
Yes. So what we practiced today, it was inspired from fighting monkeys and inspired, let's say, from my capoeira practice in the second part. So in the first part we did the zero forms, which is for me the roots are fighting monkeys. For them the roots probably are what they studied until the point where we came up with this way of approaching their discipline. Or approaching the body. So when it comes to zero forms, the zero forms are about cleaning and about researching and understanding the organization of the body. Also about mapping the landscape of the body, so you create a better sensitivity, a better understanding and sensing of the body, so you can come up with more variability in the future. Because the more you sense your body, the more you will be able to come up with different movements, because movements are just there. If you don't like constrain yourself to different disciplines and you just think, okay, I have this organism, let's see what it can do, then it can do a lot if you have in a way enough intelligence, locomotor intelligence, so you can organize it in different ways and find out how you can combine different limb movements with the torso, or the torso with the head, and just like find a certain musicality, organic musicality within the structure. So this would be the zero form part.
The zero form part, okay.
The zero form part.
And remind me which actually part of the exercises it was?
It was the first part, when we were doing the rotational embrace and reaching out and going down and elongating the spine and zooming in different areas of the body, right? Because you can do the same movement and look on how your knees are functioning, or what do you feel in your knees, or why can I go more deeper on the right side and I can go so deep on the left side? Why am I collapsing on the right side when I do a certain movement, but I'm stable on the left side? And just by zooming in and just observing, sending awareness in different parts of the body while doing this kind of movements will teach you so much about your body and will make you more attuned to it. So basically your brain will just develop this kind of new connection or connections, or will strengthen the connection that are already there just by doing this kind of practice.
Okay, so these were the zero...
this was the zero forms, or inspired from zero forms, because fighting monkeys is not like about I give you these movements and you just repeat them without thinking anymore and just being a robot mimicking something, but they teach you how to research. So they teach you how to not be dependent on someone in order to move, but how you can just explore the landscape of your body by yourself.
Okay. Stefan, may I ask you one thing about what is the... So you mentioned quite a lot the fighting monkey. Is there a discipline which is called fighting monkey? Is that just a term which somehow...
Well, it's I don't know if I would call it a discipline. It's a life supporting practice.
Okay.
So they can come up with this name because anything needs a name, right? Because people want to know what we are doing, right? And you say, okay, it's fighting monkey, but it's not necessarily the most important thing how we name things.
Because there is a fighting monkey, if I'm not wrong, in Kung Fu or I don't know, Shaolin or something, probably.
Yeah,
What at least
I think,
I remember from the movies.
I think the way they came up with, if I remember well, it was like just, okay, it sounds good and we are monkeys, right? And we are dancing and fighting and all this stuff, so we will call it fighting monkeys. I don't really know if it's accurate what I'm saying, but this is what I'm remembering from what Joseph was saying. Okay.
Well, if the inventors of the movements actually have come with something like that, so it's I think it's a valid name.
Yeah, so it's a life supporting practice. It's about how we can age better, how we can have more longevity, how we can decrease the dissipation of energy, so we can we will get older anyway, right? But it's about how we are going to get older. Are we going to be crooked on one way or bend forward and have a bad quality of life and not being able to be playful and curious anymore while we age? Or can we keep this playfulness and curiosity in our lives? And this is it's a life supporting practice. So
that's very good. Actually, this is all the topics that I've been trying to somehow express through my podcast. So that's actually the summary of the core of what I've been trying to do with the podcast. Exactly. All right. So that's the fighting monkey.
That's the fighting monkey.
Yes. And from are there any connections to any other sports disciplines or movements?
Well, we will get there. So
okay.
The second part, we did the movement situations, right? Which are like also inspired from fighting monkey again, because I'm inspired a lot from them. They are my teachers. I consider them my teachers. So I'm a lot inspired from them. So there are this kind of body-to-body games that we did, but it can be also body-to-objects. So we can use different belts and balls and sticks that we will integrate in this kind of situations. So these situations are about how we can integrate noise and chaos in our practice rather than running from it. Because you need to react fast, right? When something changes in the environment, and things change all the time in the environment, external or internal, then you need to be reactive, to be able to see what is the important, what is the relevant information within the environment, and how fast you can compare, or how fast you can integrate that information and compare it with past memories and future projections, so you can make sense of what is happening now. So these are the movement situations. So it's how you can deal with unpredictability, and I think it has a very beautiful carryover to life, or transfer to life, because also this is how life is, right? It's like a constant improvisation, so you don't know what is coming next. You can just speculate about what is coming next, but you don't really know what is going to happen. So you have to be able to have an adaptable behavior, so you can deal with all the changes in the environment, in the internal landscape, in your motivations and so on, that are changing all the time. So this would be the movement situations. Also, it's about communication, communicating in a non-verbal way, because you saw that there we are touching each other, we are pulling, we are pushing. Sometimes we are more gentle, sometimes we are more firm. So this is a way of communication that we lost in our culture, in our way of living we live now from the head up, right? We live a lot in our head and less within the rest of the structure. And this is quite weird because we are the whole organisms. We are not just the brain, right? It's like a constant communication between the microbiome, between everything that is going on in your body, the hormonal system, and so on, who is not dependent just on the brain, but on a lot of other organs. So there is this whole constant communication in between all the body systems. That we are like kind of not aware of them anymore. And through these kind of games we start to communicate more again in a non-verbal way and in a more like sincere way, I would say, because you can fake more what you are going to say than what you are going to do when you touch a person. I think you can find out so more many things that you can hide through verbal communication. You can hide through a body-to-body communication.
Okay, Stefan. So these were the games that we did in the couples.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
These were the games.
Okay.
And then we start crawling, right? We start like doing those lines in which way we're crawling, and I think that's more. It's good to load the joints in different ways. So also to use forelimbs on the ground and. But I think that's more about how I like to explore more in an artistic way movement. Like it's something inspired from capoeira here. It's more because I was crawling a lot in capoeira. You crawl a lot. You are using all this kind of monkey animalistic movements on the ground, so you can go around your partner. And I love crawling, but I don't think necessarily it's something that it's the most relevant thing when it comes to the way we evolved to move, because we are bipedal animals, so we evolved to be on 2 feet. Right. We evolved to be able to have free arms and to throw things, right? To hunt animals from far away, so we can win this game of hunter and gatherer, or hunted and gatherer, right? The more we can hunt from a distance and not approach the animal from a close distance, the safer we are. So we need free arms, we need a better coordination in between the limbs, in between the legs and the arms, and so on, so we can move with more freedom in a standing position. So the crawling, it's something that I love to do, but I don't think it's something very necessary to do. Or it is, but it's not too much, because if you do it too much, you will see that you through overuse, by overusing you will start having pain in maybe your wrists or maybe in your elbows, because you are loading them a lot, right? And then you have to think about, okay, what am I doing, or what should I do in order to not feel this kind of discomfort and pain anymore, because we are talking about longevity, right?
Yes.
So you have to pay attention on all these kind of cues that your body are giving you all the time. So then maybe you think, okay, maybe I'm not standing enough. And then you come up on 2 feet and start moving on 2 feet. Okay. And also acrobatics. Acrobatics I practice a lot. We didn't do them. I'm in a dilemma right now in between, should I teach acrobatics or shouldn't I teach acrobatics? Because I want people to be healthy, and I want them to be exuberant and happy with their body, right? And acrobatics harm your body. And whoever like says that they do acrobatics and acrobatics do not harm the body, they have either a reason behind it, like to sell that kind of
to
practice,
hide the truth,
or they deceive themselves so they can continue with what they are doing, because we are doing this all the time. We create stories so we can live better with ourselves, right? And we deceive ourselves all the time in different ways. So I think acrobatics is something that harms the body. Right now I'm searching how I can approach them in such a way so they will be not so harmful, and the way I will teach them and I am teaching them, it's not really the way I am approaching them when I am training, because I like to push my body in some situations in which they become dangerous in a way for my body, and I can harm it, and it's a risk that I'm assuming, but it's not something that I want to necessarily push or teach to others. So it's the sparkle on the cake. It doesn't hold the cake, it's just something that it makes it more beautiful. It's really fun to practice, it's a very nice experience if you enjoy to do them, but you have to be smart about them, and you have to know when it's time to stop. When it's too much. So yeah, this is the crawling and acrobatic stuff. And actually on my profile on Instagram, you can see a lot of them because they are very catchy, they are beautiful, they are interesting, they are very interesting. But when I teach and I talk about movement, I try to make a little bit of sense around my practice, and to let people know what is actually the most important thing when it comes to movement and how we should approach the body.
All right, so that's the acrobatics and the crawling. Is there anything else?
I think it would be the dancing part, which I enjoy a lot. I think it's one of the most
I thought actually
things.
that you are a dancer, that you have some kind of a background dancing movement, because there is a lot of dancing in your movements.
Yeah, a lot of people.
And it looks very nice actually.
Yeah. Actually, I'm dancing just like for 2 years since I started the classes with Linda.
Yeah.
And she's teaching through improvisation.
Yes.
So just by doing those classes, I didn't have to do them a lot, just because once I did them, I just observe, okay, so this way I can explore and I create my own tasks in a way. So I can dance. Dancing, it's not, I don't see dancing the way it's necessarily taught, like following choreographies. It's still beautiful, and I'm not in a disagreement necessarily with them, but I think dancing is way more natural and way more organic than just like following different choreographies and having perfect forms and perfect shapes. I think it's more about what the experience you have when you are dancing, and it can be very simple. It can be like shaking the body in a rhythmical way on music. That's already dancing for me. And it can be chaotic, and it can be imperfect, because this is what you do when you improvise. You learn to be more comfortable with uncertainty and with imperfection, because improvisation it's not perfect, right? Because when you do a choreography again and again and again and again and again, you get it at some point, you just get it right, okay? But when it comes to improvisation, there is not right and wrong. There is wrong if you are injuring yourself while you are doing it. Then you did something wrong. But otherwise, you just explore and research, and it's beautiful because you are not just getting comfortable with uncertainty, but you are practicing uncertainty. This is something that I think is very valuable in the way we perceive life.
Entering the unknown, I mean, people in general, I think, are having a problem to actually explore the unknown and meet and welcome the unknown.
Definitely.
And being in the unknown is actually a very challenging thing, and you need to be ready about it, but mainly you need to be open to it. Right?
And if you are not, then you just get comfortable with a very secure life. Exactly. You get stuck. Exactly, and you don't explore anymore, and you are not curious anymore, and you get very attached to what you are doing, and very you hold very much on your competence in certain domain, and don't explore anymore because you just want to be comfortable and secure, and you want to go as far away as you can from noise and uncertainty. But I think once you are able to incorporate them in your life, then you engage in life in a more creative way, because you need to find solutions in order to deal with anything that it will come up, within your movement practice and also your life. And yeah, dancing is just a beautiful form of expressing yourself and of being with yourself, because you can just you can just be with yourself, put some music on and dance until you drop.
Absolutely.
Like without, like dance like no one is watching.
Yeah.
Even when someone is watching, dance so like no one is watching, and when you are with yourself, it's the same. You just dance until you forget about yourself, and it's
which I think Berlin and this place here is absolutely just giving you a predisposition for that. I mean, that's
definitely
the right environment, right?
Yes, in Berlin,
for being yourself.
Yeah.
Stefan, how do you incorporate the dance then in your practice? Or how do you lead your followers towards the dance practice, let's say?
Well, until now I didn't teach so much dancing, let's say. But the way I approach it, it's pretty simple. I'm just thinking, I don't know, let's see how I can move my knees in a circular way and coordinate it with movement of my shoulders, and maybe also wave my spine, right? And do that on music, and just start and be completely confused and just be comfortable of not having any idea of what you are doing. And then just by staying in that structure and not running away from it, but staying in that structure within those rules, start explore and explore and explore, and you will see that your body will start to organize in some kind of patterns that will look like dancing, and they will be dancing. So that's dancing for me, and this is how I will teach it. It's just on task-based improvisation. So you have a structure, and within the structure you can do whatever you want. And this is how I'm dancing, and this is how I will teach dance, because I'm not teaching dance so much. And it can be as simple as, let's lead the movement in space with one arm. Let's lead the movement with the tip of our fingers in space somewhere, and let's see how the rest of the body will respond to all this with what is happening here. And it's very simple. It is so simple that it's for me weird that we are not doing it since forever. Like since we are born, we should just like do this all the time, because it's like you can just let's look around and see what happens with the rest of the structure when I'm using my head just to look around, and something is happening, right? Like my spine is reacting to the direction or where I'm looking, and then if the spine is moving, maybe something happens in the hips, and you just start observe this, and then you maybe put a little bit of more emphasis into it, so you do it a little bit more consciously, and then it will transform in a dance.
Right.
Very basic.
When I contacted you, I shared with you that I'm kind of trying to do something similar to what you do, to some of the movements. What I've been doing actually for the last, I don't know, 2 years probably, I would just switch on music, and I would just try to do some free movements basically. And what I found out is that I used to have to feel like really stiff here around the shoulders. I'm sitting a lot in front of computer and stuff, and no movements and no training in the gym hall would help me. I would be stretching and doing all the stuff, but it will be okay for the hour when I warm up, and then it will come back. And only when I started doing these free movements, just kind of a self-expression and very much, of just following the music and stuff, I realized that actually it is going away. That I'm just the stiffness is gone.
Absolutely, because you are not isolating anymore, right? Because we are taught in this way, like isolate the shoulder and just move it and the pain will go away. That's just bullshit. It's just not going to happen. In order to make the pain away, you have to move your whole structure, and by moving your whole structure, maybe the problem, it's not even coming from the shoulder, right? Maybe the problem is coming from your left hip. okay, now I'm speculating. Maybe it's not even
But that's
possible,
exactly
but
the
it's
thing,
something
yeah.
that it can be necessarily like here. And through isolating, you do nothing. You need like to see how I can move in space and organize everything, and how I can make everything collaborate and heal this part of the body.
Yeah.
And you can focus on it while you are moving your whole structure. Right? That I'm moving my whole structure, but I'm sending my awareness here, and I see what is happening and how I can relieve that pain. But just by isolating and trying to do a specific movement, it will not help you so much. And I did this for so long because I thought that
that's
that is
normal
the right
in sports.
way.
That's what they do in sports. You know?
And I was staying with an injury for 1 year. And now that I'm having this approach, and I know how I can heal myself better through in a more complex within a more complex approach, let's say, the pain goes away like in 1 week. I had at some point I was not able to lift my arm or to grab a cup of coffee because my humerus went out of the socket and came back, so something was really fucked there. It was really bad, and I was just shaking the arms for a while and seeing how I can move my arms and what is triggering the pain, and then start to shake them a little bit in space, and then explore a little bit with elastic bands and with the belt, but without like doing the same movement 100 times, but moving and seeing how the joint is connected with the rest, and how I can make it more solid, you know, and still communicate with the rest of the body. And I was back on track in 1 week.
Right.
It was amazing. I couldn't even believe it. It was like, whoa, this is not even possible. And then I had another injury, and I did the same thing, and it works. It's just, I know there should be more studies done on this approach, because personal experience is not scientific proof, right? If I'm saying that it works, it's not necessarily true, but I think there should be more research done in this way.
No, that's my experience as well. That's absolutely my experience as well. Okay, Stefan, is there any other area of the movements you do that we haven't covered?
No, I think that's it. It's like a constant research and exploration. It can be anything from martial arts to dancing to just functional movements, whatever that would be. Just exploring the landscape of the organism.
So at the end of the day, it is also about being wary and being careful not to put any given structure, you know, to what you do, because then it will turn it, you know, into something which is I'm very structured and framed, but that's not the aim, right?
Well, there is structure. There is structure, but there is freedom within the structure.
Okay, freedom within the structure.
So it's not like complete chaotic, because you need a little bit of structure so you can orient yourself a little bit and to work on certain things. But within that structure there is a lot of freedom and a lot of space for improvising.
Okay. What are your plans for the future?
Well, I think for the next year I will just practice a lot, and I will teach workshops. Even this summer I have a few. I have one in Italy, one in Romania, and I think I will have one more in Warsaw, and one in Berlin.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it will be teaching in the physical world, working on my online courses and on my online business, and spreading the love for movement with as many people as I can.
Beautiful. You mentioned as well Prague, by the way. Are you coming to Prague, or what is that?
Yeah, I'm coming to Prague to the intensive. So I'm coming there to learn.
Okay, you're coming to learn.
I'm coming to the Fighting Monkey intensive.
Okay. Yeah. This will be in August, right? Or?
In August.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Takže já jsem ptal jsem se, nebo to, co na závěr Stefan říkal, je, že samozřejmě ty pohyby mají nějakou strukturu, nejsou úplně chaotický, ale je to o volnosti ve struktuře. A to je to, co dává právě jakoby volnost toho sebevyjádření. Ale pořád je tam nějaká struktura. Já jsem se ho potom ptal na to, jaký má další plány. On říkal, že v dalším roce se chce dál zdokonalovat a učit a zároveň chce se víc potkávat s lidma v offline světě, takže dál bude vyučovat volné pohyby a Fighting Monkey tady v Berlíně a zároveň v jiných městech po Evropě, kam bude pořádat workshopy. A mimochodem v srpnu bude taky v Praze, ale to je spíš na intenzivním kurzu, kde on sám se od svých učitelů bude učit. Takže to je jakým způsobem on plánuje se dál rozvíjet v tom, co dělá. Okay, Stefan, thank you very much. It was really lovely to meet you. By the way, all the links where people can find you will be in the video. So your Instagram and your webpage as well. So that's why I wanted to ask you where people can find you if they want to find you. But it's probably your media outlets.
Yeah, on Instagram is the easiest way to find me, and from there they can find everything.
It will be in the video. So they will find you there. Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Very nice to meet you, and thanks for the practice as well.
Yeah, it was my pleasure.
We'll stay in touch.
I was happy to have you here.
Thank you. Tak jo, tak díky moc, mějte se krásně a uvidíme se v dalším videu z některých z mých dalších hostů v podcastu Athletic Longevity. Jinak veškeré rozhovory uvidíte zároveň na mých stránkách athleticlongevity.live a nebo i na YouTube, kde jsou všechna videa, která teďko začínám točit se svými hosty, takže určitě se tam podívejte, Athletic Longevity, YouTube a jsem též na Instagramu. Díky moc, mějte se krásně, ahoj.